I am pleased to introduce the rough terrain pallet lifting cage. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage is an efficient and safe OHS solution for the building industry. Have you ever experienced difficulties lifting pallets or bricks, etc., on building sites that have sloping or uneven ground? The answer probably will be yes. Moving pallets can become a complicated and time-consuming task. Time is money, and wasted time is wasted money. We believe we have found the solution to that problem by inventing a revolutionary style of brick cage. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage has been designed to lift full pallets of bricks or any other material, either by crane or forklift, from one location to another, on even or uneven surfaces, and will do so safely and efficiently. Don't take the risk of possible costly delays or safety concerns. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage has 4 pallet pickup stirrups, which are located at the bottom of the cage on 2 opposite sides. These stirrups drop automatically by gravity to form a larger opening for the lifting pins to slide through. The lifting pins support the pallet and load. When the rough terrain pallet lifting cage is raised off the ground, the stirrups open fully. On an uneven surface, the stirrups self-adjust accordingly to suit the terrain that the pallet has been placed upon. When the cage is lifted and suspended in mid-air, the stirrups naturally are fully extended and open, with the material on the pallet remaining safely inside the cage. When lowering the cage into position, the stirrups come into contact with the ground surface first, and then start to close up as the cage contacts the surface. The lifting pins then can be removed. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage is of sound material and excellent construction, which conforms to Australian safety standards specifications. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage, incorporating 3 inventions, 6 safety solutions and 9 safety features. 2 forklift slippers are of a larger size to enable the pickup and delivery on uneven surfaces. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage can pick up on just about any angle or surface. Previously, cages have been of different sizes to reduce the gaps between the inside of the cage and the load or pallet. This was meant to prevent material from dropping through the gaps. The whiskers were designed to eliminate the need for 3 different size cages. They also prevent scraping or damaging the load. By self-centralising the load, the whiskers also stop any sudden swinging of the cage while being lifted, preventing serious injury to the operator or others. The cage self-centralises around the pallet and the whiskers are strong and flexible enough to prevent any gaps or uneven gaps and to contain the load within the cage. The colour was also chosen for safety purposes to provide maximum vision, especially while in transit via a crane or forklift. The signage is in large lettering to enable anyone to read it clearly. Gross weight information on the cage is to prevent accidents through overloading the forklift or crane.
Okay.
Forklift safety slip chain. These are designed to prevent the cage slipping from forklift accidentally. Lifting pins are designed with 50 by 50 SHS. There is a registration number on each lifting pin to ensure that the pins are only used on a cage with the corresponding registration number. There is no workload limit on the lifting pins to prevent them being used for any other purpose or with any device except the rough terrain pallet lifting cage. The safety pins were designed to make loading and unloading on high-rise building loading bays safer and easier, as there was a safety alert on safety pins. The lifting pins were designed with a spring-loaded catch and positioned for wrist control to minimise bending or twisting when being replaced to storage position. Safety guards are located over the adjustable stirrups to prevent persons' hands or other body parts being injured by the sliding of the adjustable stirrups. The safety handrail will prevent hands from being in a dangerous situation when positioning the cage. For example, getting hands or fingers crushed. The crane lifting points were designed to minimise strains and sprains by reducing the angle radius of the lifting chains, making it easier to move the loaded cage into position. The steel sides were designed to prevent snagging or catching between the load and the cage. The steel sides also reduce the risk of snagging on other building materials while in transit, which was previously a risk with the existing mesh sides of the old type cages. The steel sides also prevent fingers being injured inside mesh when loading or positioning the cage. This will reduce hand-finger accidents. Steel mesh on top of the rough terrain pallet lifting cage is another Australian standard to encapsulate the entire load inside the cage. This is a detailed logbook system that enables every user to view a history of the cage and provides a permanent written record of any events. The completion of the logbook is the responsibility of the user and gives all users valuable information of the history of the cage when it was last maintained or repaired. Using the rough terrain pallet lifting cage as it is intended, has very little risk associated with it, as it can be used on any type of surface without threat. The rough terrain pallet lifting cage was designed to prevent accidents involving lifts with pallet cages. However, the cage should always be used in conjunction with a risk assessment appropriate to the task being undertaken. Risk control safety cover bags. This bag encapsulates the entire load and is another safety solution for loads that may collapse during transportation. There is a risk of objects falling off a pallet if a gap occurs between the load and the cage due to an accident. This safety cover bag prevents the load from accidentally spilling. It provides more control when unloading a collapsed load, enabling you to remove the lifting cage easily and with no risk of objects dropping at your feet or onto the operator. There is also a tension belt that enables the slow release of the safety cover bottom. This enables the operator to take appropriate steps for the task being undertaken. There are lifting rings on top of the safety cover bag, enabling the operator to stand clear whilst the safety cover is being lifted off the load by a crane or forklift.